I'll say it once and I'll say it over and over again. People in Hollywood love James Gunn and what he is doing with the DCU. And it's not just people in Hollywood, there are fans who really like it as well. And believe it or not, Katie Sackhoff on the Katie Sackhoff Show, which she has a really good podcast. I'd say go check it out. If you don't know who Katie Sackhoff is, she's an actress. She was on The Flash. She plays Bo-Katan on the Book of, not the Book of Boba Fett, on The Mandalorian. You can go check her out. She's got a really cool show, good podcast. But she was talking with Bittsie Tulloch of Superman and Lois. She plays Lois Lane. And she asked her about what happened with Superman and Lois and how it ended. And there's a really good discussion on it because a lot of people blame James Gunn. Like, this is all James Gunn's fault for the ending of Superman and Lois. Blame James Gunn. And there's a really cool discussion that she has here with Bittsie Tulloch. So I want to kind of look at this with all of you and have a discussion about it. But there's more that I want to discuss after this as well. So I hope you stick around because we had a discussion just the other day about how the SnyderVerse fandom just sunk to a new level. Well, believe it or not, they even went lower just today. And we're going to talk about that too in a second. But here's this. This is really interesting.
Do you know why? Is there truth to the rumor that Warner Brothers didn't? I mean, that's what I saw. And granted, you can't believe everything you read on the internet, and believe nothing you read on the internet, actually.
Right.
But that they don't want two competing Supermans. Is that true, or is
that's what she's asking, because the rumor is that they don't want two competing Supermans. They don't want to have competing Supermans. They don't want to have David Cornsweet's Superman and Hochland's Superman going at the same time. And that makes sense. From my standpoint, from a lot of standpoints, it makes sense. Let's get one Superman. Let's make him the Superman. Let's really focus on one Man of Steel. And James Gunn even wants to do this, the whole thing where there's TV shows that connect with the movies aspect. So it makes sense. If that's what he wants to do, having a Superman and Lois TV show, and then you have Cornsweet's Superman also on TV shows, possibly, as well as movies, it could get a little confusing to the larger general audience. Right? Right. So let's see what Bittsie has to say.
I have no idea.
I've heard the same rumors. What I addressed at Comic-Con and what I said, and sort of knowing Peter Safran and James Gunn loosely, socially,
yeah,
both of them, I have tremendous respect for both of them. And I just very much am a believer that it is what it is. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like.
So I know there's going to be a lot of people who sit there and say, oh, look at her. She's trying to find the right words to say. She has nothing to lose at this point. She could sit there and say the worst of the worst. She could sit there and say James Gunn sucks. She could sit there and say Peter Safran's an asshole. She could sit there and say she has nothing to lose at this point. They filmed the final season of Superman and Lois. It's over. It's done. She has nothing to lose at this point. She is literally just making sure that she says the right thing. She doesn't want to say the wrong thing because she understands that one little thing could be taken out of context here. She understands that, look, it is what it is at this point. Superman and Lois is ending. That's fine. Whether it's because they want to have only one Superman or whether they want to have, they just didn't have the money for Superman and Lois, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It is what it is at this point. And that's how she's trying to explain it. Like, look, if you're a fan of Superman and Lois, thank you, but it is what it is. The cast has had to accept that, so the fans kind of have to accept it.
Like, we went into this thinking we were going to go 7 seasons.
Yeah.
That's what we were told, and so it was shocking that everything happened, but it was almost like this triple whammy, to be honest. It wasn't, people keep putting the blame on like Gunn and Safran, but the reality is the CW was sold to Nexstar. Warner Brothers had a new head in David Zaslav, and then also DC Comics had new heads. So those were sort of the three, and there was some upheaval, but truthfully, I think James Gunn is brilliant. And
huge there. James Gunn is brilliant. Like I said, people in Hollywood, people that know James Gunn, people that have worked with James Gunn, people that have seen what James Gunn can do in Hollywood know how good he is and know that he's brilliant. Now, yes, she says that she only knows him socially. She hasn't worked with him. She admits that. But she sees what he is doing. She understands what he is doing. She's probably heard from people who have worked closer to him and understands that he is brilliant in what he's doing.
And I trust him. And I trust that he really loves the IP of Superman.
Of course he really loves the IP. Yes, James Gunn loves the IP. It's something that I talk about all the time. It's what a lot of people talk about all the time. He does love the IP. And that's going to show in the product and the projects that he's going to make and put forth under the DC Studios banner.
Superman, and I feel like he's going to direct an amazing movie.
Yeah.
And whether that had to do with our cancellation or not is neither here nor there, because it's over. And so...
And that's pretty much it. I mean, she goes in and starts talking a lot more about Superman and Lois and what they did with the cuts that they had to make in this final season and so on and so forth. But again, it's not James Gunn's fault. It's not his fault. Like she said, there was so much that happened. CW being sold, the ownership change at Warner Brothers, at DC Studios and coming in and all the changes there. It's not James Gunn's fault. There are so many different changes that happened there. But the one thing that you can be sure about is that she trusts him. There are people that she knows that trust him. People like what James Gunn is doing. There's an excitement around what James Gunn is doing, but people don't want to see that. And the people that don't want to see that are the ones that are refusing to accept that there has been a change with DC, and it's okay. Like, they'll see it eventually. They will see it eventually. But they need to stop doing what they're doing. And what I mean by that is this stuff right here. James Gunn, just an hour ago from me recording this, got deep on X. He goes, just lost a friend to alcoholism. I'm devastated. And he's kind of just putting himself out there. Like, he lost a friend. He lost somebody close to him due to alcoholism. And there were fans outpouring, and there was a big outpour of support for him here. But there was somebody. And this is what I talk about. When I sit there and say that the SnyderVerse stoops and continues to stoop to new lows, this is what I'm talking about here. This person here, me inside the box. Tough, but that's karma for betraying Snyder and all of your DC fans. You should have gotten Henry Cavill back as Superman. He was a very kind man that you stabbed in the back for some unknown actor who treats his fans like they're nothing. We aren't nothing. Fire James Gunn. That is the most disgusting and disturbing, pathetic thing that anybody could possibly do. I don't care what your feelings are about the SnyderVerse. You're upset about the SnyderVerse. You're upset that it's gone. First off, your whole rant here, me inside the box, which I hope you see this video, but your whole rant here is completely inaccurate. It is completely inaccurate, first of all. So you need to check yourself because you are wrong. And I hope you see this because I want you to come on my show so we can have a discussion here and I can get you and put you in your place for how wrong you actually are. Secondly, you're a disgrace to the human race because you're upset about a superhero movie universe getting canceled. So you're going to sit there and say karma that he lost a friend to alcoholism? And you're going to say that's karma? That's the same thing? That is complete and just disgusting, utter bullshit. This is the crap. This is why I continuously call out the SnyderVerse fandom. This stuff. And I know it's not everybody. I know it's not everybody. But this is the crap that needs to stop. But you have someone here, you know, I was wondering how long I'd have to scroll until I found a reply like this. And Gak Margan, you know, says you're awful. And Gak is not wrong, you know, not wrong at all. But James Gunn actually, you know, replied, and he saw this. He goes, here's the beautiful thing. You had to scroll a long time to get to it, as did I. I'm really touched by the kind, thoughtful, and supportive responses, even from people I've muted for being troll-like in the past. So the very rare response like this is a beautiful reminder that when it comes to the important stuff, most people are pretty wonderful. So, yes, he saw it. So, does that make you happy, me inside the box? He saw your post. Don't worry. That doesn't make you any less disturbing and disgusting of a human being, I can assure you that. But he saw it. But the way he acknowledged everything else was spot on. He did the right thing. He didn't acknowledge it to the point where he even talked about it. He did the right thing. So bravo, James Gunn. And I'm sorry for the loss. I'm sorry for the struggles that you, your family, your friends, and everybody are going through. But I tell you what. The fact that Zack Snyder, they even put Zack Snyder on the post there. This is why I say Zack Snyder has to separate himself from the fandom at this point. Because they're using his name in stuff like this. And it's wrong. It's wrong. Look. Let me know your thoughts, though, in the comments of everything. Bittsie Tulloch. James Gunn. Everybody loves him. Everybody loves him. But this stuff, I tell you what. It's getting worse, guys. It's getting worse. And it's pathetic. It's pathetic. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that like button, hit subscribe, share this around. With all that said, I'll catch you all later.